All right, this is topic number 3, and no need to get advice. So getting advice is just one of those things in life that if you are not humble, because the opposite of pride is humble, and I talk about pride in the book, but humility is the opposite of pride. And if you don't have humility, unfortunately, if you're that type of person that you're very prideful and you're not humble, and if you want to learn and research a little bit more and deeper about that, well, do what I taught you in the previous topic. Go on Google and just research that a little bit more. But really, pride is something that will kill not only your personal life, but also kill your business. That's almost guaranteed. Why? Because chances are you won't seek advice, as I talk about in the book, okay? And that is pretty dangerous, because if you're not seeking advice, or at least taking advice, sometimes we get advice as business people without even seeking it. And that's when people make comments. Again, the previous video, I talk about ask your clients. If you've got an existing business, ask your clients. Ask them, how are we doing? What am I doing? What could I be doing better? And if you're a prideful person, chances are you will reject every negative comment, because all you want to hear is how great you're doing, how awesome you are, and what a superstar you are. You wear a crown in your head, and nobody can tell you otherwise. Okay? If that's you, and if you don't change that principle, that mentality in your life and in your business, you are, if you're not heading south, you will be, I do not know a single prideful person. Okay, a single prideful person, whether it's a business owner, a friend, anybody that is prideful and that is a happy person. I don't know anybody that is prideful and happy. Okay, they always have problems, they always have issues, they never solve their problems, and that's what happens. So that's a little bit about pride. But what I wanted to point out here, and this is what's on the board, is the first topic was pretty much jumping right in. That's I named that ignorance. So ignorance, basically jumping right in. Researching was number 2, and now we're in advice. Okay, these are pretty much all interwoven. Okay, so whether you are a prideful person and you don't get advice, you don't research, it doesn't matter how you proceed with your business and what attitude you have. This isn't in sequence, but they're kind of all interrelated, and I'm sure you agree with that. But anyway, the important thing that you know that here is getting advice is important. And in the book, I talk about 2 things. It's wisdom and maturity when getting advice, asking advice, receiving advice. Okay? So the wisdom part is just knowing and understanding and filtering, I guess is the best word I can use, the advice that you're getting. If you filter it in a mature way, you'll know if that advice has to do with somebody that doesn't like you, wants to put you down. Okay? In that case, you should filter that and use that for your strength. Okay? If it's so that's the wisdom part. The maturity part is really taking advice that you don't want to hear, that you probably in your heart know it's true, and you have to be humble enough to eat your pride, eat your actions, eat whatever it is in order to fix the problem or move in the direction that is going to be beneficial to you. It's going to make you either money, okay? It's going to make you grow. It's going to make you profitable, or even the word I'm looking for is prosperous. Okay, so it's going to make you prosperous. And prosperity does not have to do with finances. Prosperity, finances or money is a part of prosperity, but prosperity has a lot to do about your whole entire life. It has to do with your health, your wellness, your mentality, everything. That prosperity is something that is very complete. I can teach you that in a different topic, but right now I want to focus on getting advice. So advice is something that you can either ask for it or it can be given to you. You just need to know how to filter it. I've gotten advice from kids. My kids have given me advice. Sometimes I've asked for it, sometimes I haven't. Sometimes I just bite my tongue because I'm angry. And here's a pointer that you'll know if the advice you're getting is hitting a chord. Okay, if it makes you angry, chances are there's something in there that you need to take care of. Okay. And you got to filter it. So be mature and be wise about the advice you get. Sometimes and here's the thing, this is something else I don't want to miss out. Don't only get advice from people that surround you, because people that know you, when you're getting advice about business especially, okay, they know you. So if you are a person that is a perfectionist, for example, like me, okay, they are going to give you advice based on your characteristics. Okay. No, Ozzy, I've had this before. No, Ozzy, you can't do that because you're too much of a perfectionist. That type of business needs somebody. Whatever. So getting advice from people that might not always be beneficial and or helpful. So you've got to be careful about that. That's why when I was getting advice about the business that I was starting in 2008. I asked my wife first, because obviously we talk about everything, so she gave me her point of view. And I think back today, had I not taken her advice, could I have gained another 5 or 6 months of leeway, of advantage in that business? May I have gotten further sooner? Or were those 5-6 months that I actually delve in and researched and studied further the industry, that benefit me by taking her advice? At the end of the day, the advice she gave me to not get into this business, into that business, was basically, it kind of had me take a step back. So I reconsidered, should I really get into that? At the end of the day, it had, nothing happened. That situation did not at all affect the business. There was nothing there. It was pretty much a dud. However, it did help me to gain a lot more information, education about the industry. So that was actually very beneficial. Okay. Yeah, I could have started the business earlier and gained, but I would have started without the education and pretty much everything that I learned in those 5-6 months that I kind of didn't get involved with the business. Okay, so again, so that was getting advice from somebody that's family, that's my wife. Okay, and then when I went out and asked advice from guys in the industry, even though they were guys, they were acquaintances, they weren't friends technically, they were just guys that I knew from this friend of mine's shop that used to go there, and every Friday they would get together and have a barbecue and beers and stuff like that, and they would talk about their business dealings throughout that week. And I participated in a few of those while I was working with my friend, but then when I went back and I actually ended up showing up on one of those days that they were all there, I basically asked the questions that would lead me. And again, I never disclosed the product I was looking at. Obviously the industry was their industry, but the product I never. But I did ask questions about the product, and their response was just like, oh, you're an idiot. Nothing like that exists. They will never exist because that cannot be produced, cannot be made. Well, I had already had enough information and education about that product that helped me understand and know that I was going to be first to market with it. And I was, and to date, I still have led, at least in my region, tremendously with that product. So bottom line is this. Getting advice is important. Okay, you have to be wise and mature enough to understand the advice that you're getting. Is it good for you? Is it coming from someone that knows what they're talking about or not? For me, I'll tell you something that actually drives me, and you may not be this type of person. In fact, most people I know are not like this. But if somebody tells me you can't do it, or it's not possible, it's impossible, you can't, you'll never make it, that is the best compliment anybody can give me. It's the absolute best compliment anybody has ever been able to give me ever since I was a teenager. And, I can probably research and figure out why it drives me, but I just love it when people tell me, because it then becomes a driving factor for me to prove people wrong. Now, be wise. Don't take that attitude I just shared with you, okay, and drive yourself into a brick wall, okay? In other words, do all of these things and the other stuff I'm going to be teaching you, and that's detailed in the book, and put that all in your bucket. Learn as much as possible, be wise, be humble, and be mature, and then you won't land up as a moron, you know, in your business, with your small business, whether it's existing or future business, okay? Now, something that I was thinking about before I started recording this video is, you know, I put out there that, you know, don't become a moron. Well, it's a strong term, you know, it's not nice to call somebody a moron. I've been a moron in businesses. I've been a moron in stuff that I've done. And let me tell you something. If you're offended by me calling you a moron, then I'm hitting the target, because I mean to hurt you. I mean to insult you, because maybe then you'll have the attitude that I just shared with you that, hey, I'm going to prove to this idiot that I'm not a moron. And you won't be. And then you won't be in my next edition of the Small Business Destruction Guide as a moron. Okay? So, again, if you feel insulted by me calling you a moron, maybe you got to research your own heart and go deep and figure out, why am I offended by this guy calling me a moron? Am I really a moron? And then go fix him. Okay? So just take that and you know, like I said right in the first video, I'm giving you seeds. How you plant them, where you plant them, how you water them will all depend on what you are going to reap at the end of, you know, the series, by the end of the year, by the end of next year. That's all going to depend on you, what you do with the seeds that I'm giving you. And maybe calling a moron, that's a big fat seed, you know. Plant that and make sure it grows, but it grows to be a non-moron. Okay, I don't know, maybe that's backwards. That's an oxymoron right there. All right, so I will see you in the next video, and please do not forget, go. It's yours for the taking. If you don't take it, somebody else will, and it's your fault because you did not go. I'll see you in the next video.